Okay, guys, we are live. So let's begin. So hey everyone, I'm Harshal Jain, your mentor at Geeks4Geeks, and in this video, guys, we are going to start with Elastic IP and Elastic block storage. So basically, these two things were actually used in our EC2 instance. And when we created EC2 instance in last few videos, we worked on EC2 instances. We didn't discuss much about these two important things. So today what we're going to do is we are going to discuss about these two important topics in EC2. But before that, I would kindly request all of you to check out the playlist available at Geeks4Geeks development channel, because we have actually used these two things. We used EBS volume and we use Elastic IP in our EC2 instance. Today also we are going to do the same in very quick way. But yeah, please watch those videos so you'll understand everything, how to create an EC2 instance, how you can post your backend inside that EC2 instance, how you can run your backend 24/7 inside that EC2 instance, and also how you can get how you can connect a domain name. Like I purchased a domain name as harshaljain.in. So how you can connect that domain name to your backend's IP address, so that when you type that domain name, you'll get your backend's APIs, right? So you can watch all that in the last video. It's available. You can go to the channel and then you would find the playlist link. Like in the playlist section, you would find the AWS playlist. Okay, so you would find all the previous videos. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about Elastic IP. All right, so let's continue, guys. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to AWS and I'll just go to EC2 instance to create a very basic EC2 instance. Okay, so I'll just sign into console, and here I'll just log in as root. Okay, and sign in. Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain you first of all the purpose of Elastic IP. Okay, so let's try to create that. So you can see that this is EC2, right? This is EC2. So what's the purpose of Elastic IP? We'll be discussing that first. Okay, so before creating an instance, let me just give you a very quick overview of what's Elastic IP. Okay, we are right now discussing Elastic IP. So when you actually create an EC2 instance, okay, when you create an EC2 instance, okay, suppose you created an instance. Okay, you created an instance. So what actually happens is you'll get some location, you'll get some memory, you'll get some storage is what? EBS. And there is some specific configuration which you get. That's fine, that's some separate topic. But you get some location. Okay, your EC2 instance is actually located at some location. Okay, it's at some location. What's the location? It's the IP address. So this IP address is actually a temporary IP address. So suppose you got allotted with this IP bc.def.ghi. Okay, so this is the IP address which you got for temporary purpose. That means when I next time restart this EC2 instance, then what would happen? First of all, this IP address would stop working. Okay, and automatically a new IP address is allotted, something like this. A new IP address is allotted, right? So every time I restart my EC2 instance, suppose my server crashed or any bad things happened, so my IP address would change, and I'm using this IP address in a lot of places. Like I would be using this in some front end. In EC2 instance, you would be having your backend and your front end website's code is suppose somewhere else. So you'd be using this IP address in a lot of places. So if this IP address changes again and again, that's not a very good thing. Okay, again you restart the system, again your IP address would change to something else, right? Again you restart the system, again your IP address would change to something else. Okay, so this is not good. Okay, let me give you the example practically here. So you'll just go to instances and launch instances, and we already have created some instances in the last video, but still I'm creating things today for you all. Okay, so I'm just gonna say test instance, or I'm just gonna name it as okay, I'll just name it as Elastic IP EBS TUT. Okay, something like that, so that I remember I created an instance for that. Okay, so yeah, I'm just naming it this way. You can name it anything, you can give it the name of your project's backend, anything you want. Okay, this is just a virtual space which we are getting with the help of EC2 instance, right? So here you can see that if I go down, first of all I'll select Ubuntu. If you don't know these kind of things, please watch my previous video. You'll understand how to create an EC2 instance properly. And yeah, I'll just go with the free operating system, Ubuntu server, and architecture 64-bit. I'll just get some T2 micro, some kind of CPU power and some kind of RAM. Okay, this is for those configuration. Okay, then you can select a key pair or you can create your own key pair. If you don't know these things, please watch my previous videos, you'll understand this. Okay, so I'm just picking this key pair which we generated in the last videos. Okay, then what else? I'll just go to create security groups anywhere, allow SSH, allow HTTP. Okay, everything is fine here. Now this is what this is EBS, Elastic Block Storage. We are going to discuss about this later on, but yeah, this is EBS, right? So we are going to discuss this today only, but for now I'm just going to create this instance. Okay, so once you can see that this instance has been created, so what actually I'm trying to say here is, I'll just go to instances, and here we created this instance, right? So if I just click this, you can see that we got an IP address. Okay, so just remember this IP address. I'll just write it somewhere. Okay, I'll just write it here only. I'll just write this IP address here. Okay, so right now you have this IP address, right? You have this IP address. Now let's restart this system. Okay, so now let's restart the system. So you can see if I stop the instance. Okay, if I just stop the instance, so you can see that it's stopping. Okay, and then if I just start the instance again. Okay, so you can see, okay, just a second, I'll just go outside, and it's taking time, some time to stop, so let's wait until it stopped. Okay, I'll just refresh, and please keep refreshing in a few seconds, so that yeah, now you can see that it stopped. Now what I'll do is, again I'll go to actions, sorry, instance state, and start instance. Okay, so yeah, you can see that now it's starting again. Now if I let it just start. Okay, so I'll just refresh, and it would take again a few seconds to start the instance. That means it's starting our computer. Okay, so again a few seconds are needed. Okay, let's wait guys for it. Now you can see that now it's running. Okay, so now if I click on this, you can see that I got another IP. Okay, I got this IP. You can see previously I had this IP, now I have another IP, right? So when you restart the instance, this IP got changed, but suppose you were using this IP addresses in a lot of front ends, so this is a very big problem. You have to change your IP again and again. Now you have this new IP, you have to add this new IP everywhere. Suppose again you restart your EC2 instance due to some issues, again you'll get an IP, you have to add that IP. Again you restart the EC2 instance, again you'll get an IP, you have to add that IP address. This is a very big problem. Okay, to solve that problem, we actually have elastic IPs. Okay, so that is the purpose. Elastic IP is like, you'll get a permanent IP address instead of the IP address changing again and again like this one. We'll get a permanent IP address for our EC2 instance. Okay, so even if our server crashes or anything bad happens, our IP address would still be same. That means location would always be same, right? So how can we do that? So for that guys, you can just come down here, and here we have some yeah, we have elastic IPs. Okay, so you can see, first of all, I have some elastic IPs. If you have some kind of elastic IP and you are not using it, please delete that, please delete that. Okay, please delete those IP by releasing the IP addresses. Okay, I'll just discuss that right now. Okay, for example, I want to suppose release this old IP, elastic IP, which I have. Okay, in case you have it, in that case I'm saying, if you want to release it, because we are using free tier, and if in future you are paying bills for it, so obviously you don't want to be charged extra money. So if you are using this elastic IP, then it's fine. But if you are not using this elastic IP, what you can do is, you can just disassociate first of all the elastic IP address. Okay, disassociate. Okay, so it would be first of all disassociated. Then what you can do is, you can just delete this IP. Okay, you can automatically, yeah, you if you disassociate, automatically it would be used in some other places. Okay, so yeah, you can see that if I go inside this, this is some old IP. If I want to associate, then I again can associate. If it's not associated, you won't be charged anything. Okay, so that's the benefit, right? So you can see that, yeah, now everything is fine here. I have just disassociated. That means I'm not using this IP, so I have disassociated it. That means I won't be charged for this IP address. Okay, I won't be charged for this IP address. So that's the benefit. Okay, suppose now I want an IP address, so I would just simply click on allocate IP address, and here what I want is for this specific location, suppose. Okay, and here you can see, if I click on allocate, You can see that now we got the IP address, right? This IP address, we got this one, right? Now here what you need to do is associate. Okay, here you can see I want to join it with an instance. Which instance? Okay, I just now created an instance, right? The instance name was Elastic. Yeah, this instance, we created this instance right now, right? So I've just associated the IP. Which IP? You can see that 3.7.140.242. This is the new IP. So now what would actually happen? Even if I restart the system, my IP would always be same. My IP would always be same even if I restart the system. That means now there is no changing of IP again and again. We have one common IP. Okay, let me just show you in the instances. Here you can go to instances and then we have the instance. You can see that now, yeah, we have this IP address associated to our instance. So even if I restart the instance, let's reboot the instance. Okay, if I restart the instance, so it would take a few seconds again to reboot. You would see that IP address won't change. Okay, so that's the benefit of elastic IPs. Now what would happen? I can share this elastic IP address to any front end, right? Suppose EC2 instance is handling my backend, right? My backend code would be running in EC2 instance. My front end is running at some other IP address. So this IP address would be shared to the front end, right? That's the benefit. Okay, that's the benefit, right? So it would never change and it would always be easy. Now if we have one IP address, so it would always be easy. Even if our server crashes, we know that our location is still the same, so we don't need to change things again and again. We don't need to pass IP address again and again, because this generally happens. The IP address changes again and again due to some issues. Okay, so you need one common IP address, one static IP address, that is elastic IP. Okay, so guys, I hope you understood the purpose of elastic IP. Okay, actually, yeah, I'll just go back here. Okay, I'm talking about this backend. You can see that now it's running. You can see that, yeah, IP address still the same. That means even if you reboot, restart, stop the instance, restart the instance, the IP address is now always the same. Okay, and now you can see that the auto assign IP address is also gone. Okay, that's the benefit. Now you can serve your backend into this IP address and you can share this IP address with your front end user. Okay, easy. That's the purpose of elastic IP, right? I hope you got this. This is a very basic example. Okay, so now guys, we are going to discuss about the second thing which we have, which is EBS. Okay, EBS. So EBS is nothing but your hard disk. Okay, your hard disk. So you can assume basically what actually happens is when you create an instance, EC2 instance. Okay, what actually happens is, I'll just write it here. You created an EC2 instance. Suppose I'm just going to name it as my instance 1. Okay, suppose this is your instance, right? In this instance, when you create this instance, okay, right now I told you, okay, let's create an instance. Okay, so I'll just delete this old instance because we don't need this. So just delete the old things which you don't really need, and you can just go here. You can just terminate the instance which you don't need. Okay, so you can just terminate it. Okay, similarly I can terminate other ones also. Suppose if I want to terminate other ones, I can similarly terminate other ones because I'm not using them for my project, so I can actually delete them so that there won't be extra billing. Okay, so that's why. So right now you can see that it's shutting down. This specific instance is shutting down. I'm not using this instance, that's why I'm shutting this down. Okay, if you're using this instance, please don't shut it down. It would be important for you, right? But it's not important for me. I'm just created for the tutorial. I don't need this. I don't want any extra billing for free. So that's why I'm just shutting down unnecessary things. Okay, that's what I do generally. Okay, that's what always everyone must do. Similarly, I want to remove this IP address now. I'm not using this one. I just deleted the instance. So what would I do? So yeah, here you can see that if it's associated, now you can see that automatic disassociate would be gone because obviously we deleted the instance. So this IP address is now not associated. Okay, so that's fine. And yes, now you can see okay, one more thing which I wanted to tell you guys, that you dissociated the IP address, but the IP address is still with you, right? So still you would be charged. So one mistake which I did is, right now we disassociated the IP. That means this IP address is not connected to any EC2 instance, but you need to release this. Okay, that means now anyone else in the world can use this IP address. This is very important. You are not using this IP address, please release this. Okay, please release this. Okay, now you can see I've released this. Okay, that's it. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Okay, similarly, I'm not using this IP. I disassociated it in the starting of the video. I'll also release this IP address. Okay, so I won't be charged unnecessarily. Please release all the things. Please delete all the things which you are not using. I'm repeating things again and again because you would be charged unnecessarily, and trust me, the charge is a lot. So to stay away from that, you have to release things, you have to delete things wherever possible. Okay, so now I'll just go to my instance. You can see that just now we shut it down, this instance. If I just refresh, you can see, yeah, it's terminated. Now I'll just create a new instance. I'm going to talk about EBS, Elastic Block Storage. Let's name this instance as my instance 1, okay, something like that. Okay, and I'm just going to say that which operating system is this virtual machine going to use. Suppose I want to use Ubuntu. Okay, so this is the virtual operating system. Fine. Now you can see that it's asking for the architecture 64-bit. Fine. Here you can see that what type of instance you want. So we have a lot of different type of instances. That means the speed of our virtual machine, okay, the amount of memory, 1 GB of memory, one power of CPU, things like that. So I want the basic one because I'm using the free stuff. Okay, so as soon as you increase things, you can see we have T2 nano, T2 medium, different kind of thing for large purpose, for large powerful machines. Okay, I hope you know what's the purpose of RAM, what's the purpose of processor speed. Okay, so the larger plan, you can see that larger speed, that's what I mean. Okay, so I want free stuff, so I would be going with the free tier. That means some 1 GB of RAM would be allocated to me and one CPU unit would be allocated to me. And if in future after 1 year, if AWS starts charging me, so the charge would be according to this US dollar per hour. Okay, hopefully the Indian rupee just like the matches with US dollar okay soon, because yeah, this is very big for Indian rupees if I talk about Indian rupees per hour. Okay, so yeah, still hopefully okay, so now we can see that yeah, we got this free for 1 year, so don't worry. And after 1 year what you can do is, if you are just a developer, you can create a new AWS account and then you can again play with that. But if you are a company, so obviously you have to purchase things, you can't do things for free forever. Okay, so yeah, we have selected the free tier here, and now keep here. So you can either create a keep here. Let's create a keep here. Okay, so I'm just going to name it as my key 123, something like that. Okay, so yeah, key pair. So I've created the key pair. This is like if I want to run this EC2 instance from my local computer, I can use this password which I downloaded. Okay, this is a password, key pair is a password, right? So now this is done, and now what is the security group, like what security layers, what firewall stuff you need. You can see, yeah, security group is a set of firewall rules. What are the rules which you want to decide? Right now we are going to just hold on this. We are just going to say default whatever rules would be allocated. Okay, basic access rules. Now what you want is, you can see allow HTTPS traffic, HTTP traffic. So what you're going to do is, in future if you're going to connect this backend IP address to some domain name, that's what we did in the last video, right? That's what we did in the last video. So you want to allow HTTP and HTTPS traffic, that's why. Okay, now this is what, this is the location from where you can access the EC2 instance. Okay, so I'm saying from any location I can access this, but it's always recommended if you're a company and your computer has a static IP address. My computer is a personal computer, so it changes, the IP address changes again and again, so I'm just picking anywhere. But I would suggest that yeah, if you can go with my IP, that would be always fine. So yeah, for this one let's go with my IP. Okay, fine, let's go with my IP. Okay, that means only this computer can access the EC2 instance. Okay, fine. Now you can see that here we have the EBS, okay, Elastic Block Storage. That's what we are talking about. What's this? What's this? So actually you are creating an instance and you need, like, this is your virtual computer, right? So basically what actually happens with this virtual computer, you have a RAM, okay, you have a RAM, okay, RAM, what RAM? 1 GB of RAM, right? 1 GB of RAM, okay, and again you have one more thing, that is a processor. Okay, you have a processor, or you can say CPU. Okay, processor or CPU, whatever you call it, CPU, 1 unit. Okay, I'm just gonna write it as 1 unit. Okay, some specific power is allocated. Okay, then we have the third thing, which is what? EBS. That means you have a RAM, you have a processor, you have a hard disk, right? That's what creates a computer, right? So yeah, you're gonna have a hard disk. That's what we call EBS, Elastic Block Storage. Your C drive acts as Elastic Block Storage. Okay, so I'm gonna write here hard disk or EBS, hard disk, EBS. That's what is your C drive. Okay, that's the C drive. So here what I'm allocating is my C drive. You can see I'm allocating my C drive. Okay, so you can see that similarly I can create one more drive. Okay, excuse me guys. Okay, So you can see that, yeah, we have 8 GB of storage for one drive. Similarly, let's create one more drive. Okay, so I'm just gonna say that suppose this is gonna take 6 GB, or suppose 9 GB. Okay, let's say 9 GB. Okay, so you can see that what is this GP2 and what is GB3. We are going to discuss that later on. But yeah, these are just type of drives. You can just name it anything else. But yeah, they have some specific purposes. Okay, they have some specific purposes that you can see here. IO1, IO2 is used for those kind of services where you want to use this hard disk for different instances. Okay, so you want to use same hard disk for different computers. In that case, we have IO1 and IO2. GP3 and GB2 are for those when you want to use one hard disk for one computer. That's what we want. Okay, so we're going to go with either GP2 or GP3. That's fine. So let's select this GP3 for now. Okay, so automatically it would be selected. So just keep it as it is. Okay, now you can see that GP simply means that, yeah, general purpose. Like that means you want one hard disk for one computer. Okay, so this IO is like one hard disk for multiple computers. Okay, and what else you have? You have one magnetic, so that's some separate one. But yeah, right now just keep it as it is. And the root volume can only be either GP or IO. So we are going to only talk about this because we are using free stuff. So we are going to say that our root volume, that means our C drive, is either gonna be a single hard disk which is connected to multiple instances, multiple different computers, and we are one of a computer, or we can go with GP, general purpose, one hard disk for one computer. Okay, so I'm just going with GP. Okay, that's it, and that's fine. And you can just type here GP3 versus GP2 in AWS. Okay, you can just search about it, so you can see that, yeah, I will get the difference. And basically there is some basic difference. You can see that, yeah, baseline IOPS, if you are someone who is interested in this kind of speed kind of thing, then you can read it. And yeah, you can see little bit of differences here. You can see throughput, volume, and yeah, there's a little bit of difference. And you can see there is also difference between prices. Okay, so that's what you can do, and that's what you can search for. Okay, some people prefer this speed, some prefer this speed. That's the difference. Okay, the speed in difference is the speed between GP2 and GP. That's it. Okay, so now after this, I'll just come back here, and I can just select anything you want. You can see according to this, I think, yeah, both are fine. So I'll just keep it as it is, nothing much difference. Okay, now I'll just go here, advanced details. Here you can see that right now we have some extra things. You don't need to select anything from here, but yeah, we have some extra things here. And if I go down, you can see that, yeah, we have. Okay, I want to actually find something. Just a second, guys. We have host name. Okay, okay. Okay, they have changed some kind of interface, I guess. Just a second. Okay, anyways, so now you can see that it's here. So what I'm gonna do is I am just going to go to T2. Okay, actually I'll just go up, and we have selected this free tier. Okay, fine. I think that's fine. Everything is fine. If you want to edit the region, yes, here. Okay, yeah, this one, sorry, edit. Yeah, here you can see that there are some regions allocated. If you go down, you can see there are some basic details allocated here. What you can do is, if you want to choose different kind of things, you can choose here. If I go to subnet, you can see, yeah, that's the availability zone. Like, I want to keep my backend, I wanted to keep my EC2 instance in south 1B or south 1A. I hope now you know what's the availability zone. We talked about the previous videos, about availability zones in the previous videos. You can see either we can keep our EC2 instance in this zone, or we can keep it in this zone or in this zone. So I want to keep it in, suppose, 1A for now. Okay, I want to keep this in 1A zone. Okay, so you can see now my EC2 instance is in this specific server. Okay, that's what I've said. Okay, so it would be AP South 1. You can just search about it here. AP South 1 A B C AWS. Okay, you can just search about this. You'll understand. So regions and zone, either you can search it like this. So there are different regions and different zones. So you can see AP South, yeah, we have different ones. You can see AP South 1, you can see AP South 1. That means I am picking the Mumbai zone. Inside Mumbai also we have different data centers, A, B, C. Okay, that's what I picked. So I picked the A data center in Mumbai. Okay, that's what I've said. Okay, so launch instance, and in Mumbai my EC2 instance is now available. Okay, so you can see that my EC2 instance has been created. Now if I go to instance, and you can see that what actually happens is we allocated two hard disks, right? One of 8 GB and one of 9 GB. So if I go to this instance, I think my instance was okay. Right now it's taking some time. Okay, it's taking some time. You can see that, yeah, now it's created. Okay, this is the instance which created. So here you can see that we can actually go to monitoring part. You can see that there are a lot of things here written here. You can read these things, but yeah, not necessary. And similarly some security things. And what do you want is we want to talk about storage. Okay, so you can see that we attached one storage here. Okay, we attached one storage here, and similarly we want to go to this specific place. Okay, where you can just go down and you can look for the Elastic EBS volumes. Okay, so you can go to volumes, right? And you can see that just now we created a 9 GB volume. Okay, so you can see this is also available here. And one more thing which we have created is right now. Okay, you can see that the time is here. You can see that we have these two volumes available for us. We created these two hard disks for us. Okay, so if you are not using these two storages, please remove these storages, just for your information. Okay, so for now what I'm going to do is I'll just delete the other storages because we don't need these. Okay, so I'll just delete these storages, and what I'll do is, okay, I won't delete this, else it would cause a problem. I'll just let this be. Okay, let it be, because yeah, we are using these in other backends. Okay, we won't delete this. Okay, let it be. But yeah, just remember, right now in this specific backend, we created, in this specific EC2 instance, we created these volumes. Okay, one of 8 GB, one of 9 GB, right? So it's E5 and A9. Okay, now what I can do is I can just go to my instance. Okay, I can just go to my instance, and I want to check what volumes do I have. So I'll just go to connect, and I'll be doing it here. Either you can do it in your local machines by using SSH, or you can do it here also. Okay, there is no problem. But yeah, I would say just learn the basic commands of Linux so that you can work with this. Okay, work with the CLI. Okay, so here you have the CLI, and here what you need to do is you just need to look for the commands. Okay guys, so now I think we have a problem. EC2 instance connect is unable to connect to your instance. Ensure that instance network settings are configured correctly for EC2 instance connect. For more, okay, I think I made one mistake while creating it. Okay, let's do one thing. Okay, let's do one thing. Very simple thing. I don't need this instance, suppose. Okay, one more thing which you would understand is right now you can see that we have some volumes allocated here. Which volumes? E5 and A9. Suppose I delete this instance. Let's see what happens. So you can see that we have my backend one or some other one. Okay, I think it was actually my instance one. Okay, let me just check this one. Yeah, I think, yeah, this was the instance we just now created, right? So let me just check. Updated less than a minute. I think, yeah, this was the instance we created. So now if I click on connect, most probably this was the one. Okay, so I'll just try to connect. Okay, hopefully it works. Yeah, okay, it's having a problem. Okay, anyways, so you can see that this was the instance just now we created. Let's try to delete this instance. Let's try to terminate this instance. So if I terminate this instance, you can see I terminate this instance, and you can see that now it's shutting down. Okay, so you can see successfully terminated this instance. Perfect. So now if I go to instances, you can see that it's also shutting down. That means it's being terminated. Let's wait for a few seconds till it gets terminated. Then we'll start again. So now guys, okay, it's again taking some time. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds till it gets terminated. I want to show you something. Right, so you can see that now guys it's terminated. What I'll do is now I'll just go to volumes, and if I refresh, you can see that volume is deleted. Okay, that root volume is deleted, but still this extra hard disk is available here. Okay, so yeah, this is one thing. This extra hard disk would always be available here, but whenever you delete an instance, the root volume would only be deleted. Okay, so if you want to delete this extra hard disk, you can just delete the volume as it is. Okay, you can just delete this volume, right? That's it. Now let's go to instances. Let's create a very fresh instance. So I'll just go to launch instance, and I'll just name it as my uh, okay, I'll just name it as task manager backend. Okay, task manager backend, something like that. Okay, task manager backend, I'm just naming it instance as it is, Ubuntu. Okay, and I'll just keep the basic things here, and the key pair is I'll just select this key which I generated today only. Okay, so I'll just use the same key, and rest everything is fine. Rest everything is fine. I think the network issue may be because of the IP. Most probably it's because of the IP. So yeah, you can see that's done. And then yeah, here right now I'm just creating one volume, but I can create another volume also. But let me just create only one volume. Okay, for now I'm just having one volume. Or okay, let's another one. Let's add another one for now. Okay, I'll just give it 9 GB. Okay, let's add another one. Okay, now I'll just go to launch instance. Okay, go to launch instance, and you can see guys that right now the instance has been launched. Okay, instance has been created. Now you can just go to your instance, you can just refresh, and you can see that it's pending. Okay, so it's pending. Let's wait for a few seconds, then we'll start the instance to check the hard disk drive. Okay, now you can see that it's running. If I just go to connect and connect, and most probably it must work. Okay, ensure that your are configured correctly. Ensures. Okay, I think yeah, क्या problem हो गई यार? Let me just search about it. What's the problem? अभी तक तो सब सही था. Regions, local zones, easy to instance come with pre-install EMIs. Okay. Install EC2 connect, and network access can be configured to allow users to connect through. Okay, enable internet access in Amazon's. This generally doesn't happen when I created the instance. If your instance does not have a public IPv4 address, you prefer not to configure. The network address is described. Okay, fine, fine. I think everything is fine here. It's just some basic problem of my network issue. Okay, anyways, let's try this with local machine. Maybe it works with local machine. So I'll just go to EC2 serial console, sorry, SSH client. Okay, and I'll just open my downloads folder where I downloaded the key. You can see that this is the downloads folder. Here I downloaded the key. You can paste this key anywhere. You can open that folder in git bash. So I'll just open this folder in git bash. Okay, right now I have opened this folder in git bash, this file in git bash. You can see this folder, downloads folder in git bash. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to type chmod. Okay, let's first type this. Okay, paste this. Right now what else I would do is I'll just copy this example key name. Okay, then I'll just paste it here. Okay, let's try this. Are you sure you want to connect? YES. So you can see that now I'm connected. Okay, now I'm connected. Okay, maybe there is some issue with the AWS part. You can see that locally I think I am connected. Okay, you can see that locally yes I am connected, right? You can see locally I'm connected. So there was some AWS issue, network issue. Anyways, you can see that locally I'm connected. So I'll just go to LS, and you can see right now we don't have anything, but yeah, we'll be able to have everything. You can see that right now we have it this much. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to first of all check that how many disks do we have. Okay, how many hard disks do we have. So for that we have a command named as ls blk. Okay, blk. Okay, if I type this, you can see that basically we have what we have an 8 GB of hard disk and 9 GB of hard disk allocated to this one. Okay, you can see that we have allocated to this one. And basically what actually happens is you have this hard disk available. Okay, similarly we can create one more hard disk since there was one extra hard disk available. That's why it's showing. Okay, so I'll just go back to instances. Okay, and suppose if I delete this hard disk. Okay, so if I just go to this volumes. Okay, if I just go to this volumes, can see that, okay, right now we don't have this. Okay, we have it here. Okay, we actually allocated it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this one. Okay, delete this storage. Okay, so just delete this volume, detach. So you can see that I detached this volume, and now I think it must delete this one. Okay, I think now it would take a few seconds, and most probably it would be deleted in a few seconds. You can see that now it's available and it's not allocated to anything. Okay, I'll just select this, actions, delete volume. Okay, previously it was connected to some Elastic IP, that was it was showing. Now you can see that I deleted the 9 GB storage. You can see that I deleted the 9 GB storage. Now let's check. Okay, now let's check. So now what actually happens is you can see that the 9 GB storage is actually gone. Okay, it's actually gone. Now let's create a 9 GB storage. I'll just create a volume and I can select GP3 or GP2 for the speed. Both are free for now. Okay, I'll just select minimum 9 GB would be fine. Okay, then everything is fine. You can select the speed also if you want. And now after this I'll just keep things as it is. I'll just create volume. Okay, I'll just create this volume. You can see that, yeah, we have this. Okay, now guys, what we need to do is we simply need to allocate this. Okay, so I'll just go inside this, and you can basically see that we have these. Okay, you can see we have this option. So attach volume, to which instance I want to attach this volume. So you can see that we created the instance task manager backend. So I'm going to attach this hard disk to this specific volume. Okay, what's the name you want to give? So you can give the name. If you want to look for another one, you can just read more about it, but I'll just give default name. So I'll attach this volume. Okay, I'll attach this volume. So you can see that 9 GB, this volume has been attached. Now if I just check again, LSBLK, so you can see that now I have this hard disk available. You can see 9 GB, right? Now it's available, right? So this is one thing which I wanted to tell you. Now one more thing guys, if you want to use this, if you want to pass data inside this hard disk, what you can do is, first of all, you need to format this. So you need to format this. So to format this hard disk storage, what you can do is you can just type the command mk. This is a Linux command, so you can just search about Linux command to format a hard disk. So mkfs dot ext4. Okay, ext4, and then after that you can just say, yeah, then after that you can just say that what you need to type, the type of hard disk. Okay, generally it's ext4. We'll see that later on how we can know, but yeah, ext4. And then after that you need to type the name. Okay, so inside the dev directory we have all the hard disks. So dev, inside that, what's the name? xvdf, right? xvdf, right? That's the name. So if I hit this, can see permission denied. Why you can see permission denied? Because you are not the root user. How you can become the root user? By either typing sudo. Okay, sudo. Then you can see that I have added this. You can see that now I have added this, and here guys you can see that now you can see allocating group tables. Yeah, that's done. Now you can see that now I have allocated my hard disk. Okay, now I actually formatted my hard disk. Okay, and I have formatted my hard disk. Okay, so once I format this hard disk, that means now I can just make things inside. Okay, now I can just make things inside. So first of all, I'll create a temporary directory, mkdir. So I'll just say 9 GB dir, something like that, so that you remember the hard disk name. So I'm just creating a temporary directory for now. Okay, this is not in the hard disk, this is in my root directory. Okay, 9 GB dir. Okay, right now I've just created a directory. Okay, again you need root permissions, sudo. Okay, so you can see that you created this. Okay, you created this directory. Now after that what you need to do is you just need to say you created a directory. Now after that if I type cd slash, and now if I type ls, so yes, now you can see that you have all these directories available here, right? Inside this, if I go to cd dev, that means I am going inside the dev directory. If I type ls, you can see that I get all the things attached to my specific computer. You can see all the things which are attached here. Okay, so I'll just type cd dot dot. I just need to know what are all the directories. So you can see that here we created 9 GB dir, so it's available, right? It's available. Now what you need to do is you need to just play around inside this. How you can play around? This is available in your root directory. You want to connect this folder to the 9 GB hard disk. That means now the 9 GB hard disk data must be available inside this folder. Okay, that's what we are going to say. That means this is suppose our D drive. So we are allocating this folder our D drive. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So what we are going to say is mount, 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 and I just need to write the name. So def slash I just need to write the name xvdf. Okay, xvdf, and here I just need to write the folder name. Okay, so in the root directory we have the folder name as what? 9 9 okay, 9 GB dir. Okay, so must be a super user. Okay, again I need to type sudo. Right, you can see that now I have allocated my specific hard disk of 9 GB to this folder. That means whatever now I keep inside this folder would be sent to this hard disk. That's what I have said. So that means this folder has now become my 9 GB hard disk. That's it. Okay, that's how we mount. Okay, now suppose if I want to create something inside this. Okay, suppose I want to create this inside this. What I can do is I can just create a file name. Okay, so I can just say that let's create a file inside this. So I'll just say cd inside what? Inside my 9 GB dir. So 9 GB dir. So from root I'm going inside 9 GB dir. Now this is my hard disk, 9 GB hard disk, extra hard disk which I have attached. Okay, not the root hard disk. Now I'm inside the extra hard disk. This is my extra hard disk. Now here if I type touch and suppose file fil1.txt, suppose I'm creating this file. Again, you can see that you are getting permission denied again and again. So to do a permanent solution, what you can do is sudo and you can write the flag as I. Okay, so you can see that now you became the root user. Okay, so you can just type now you don't need to write sudo again and again. Okay, so file1.txt, you created this. Now if I type ls, you can see that we have this file. Similarly, I'm going to create one more file. By pressing upward arrow you will get the previous options. So file2.txt, and you can see that it is similarly I can create one directory and my dir1. Okay, and if I go inside cd my dir1, and I can create one more file inside this dir1, touch fl3.txt. okay, so you can see that I created something. So if I type cd dot dot, now if I type ls, you can see that yeah, inside my hard disk I have file1.txt, file2.txt, and my dir1. This is what my extra hard disk, not my root hard disk. So you can see now I'm able to use my extra hard disk, right? That's the benefit. Now what I can do is I can just unmount the storage. Okay, I can just unmount the storage. How we can unmount the storage? We can simply say, now I want to say that this specific folder 9 GBr is disconnected to my 9 GB hard disk. How can I disconnect this? By simply typing unmount and just type the directory name 9. Okay, yeah, 9 GB dir, 9 GB dir. And yeah, you can see that right now we are in this same hard disk. That's why you can see that we didn't get the option. So what I'm going to do is I'll just type cd dot dot. Right now if I again type unmount 9 GB dir and 9 GB. Okay, unmount. Okay, I think I wrote. Okay, I'm sorry, it's u mount. Okay, I'm sorry, it's u mount. Okay, yeah, target is busy. Well, I'm outside, so I'll just write cd dot dot ls. Can see that right now we are here. And now if I type 9 GB dir, okay, it's saying target is busy. Okay, let me just check what's the problem here. I think the target is busy and we are getting this issue because let's try it again. Okay, I'm not sure why we are getting this cd dot dot ls. You can see that right now we are in home. I'm not sure why we are getting this. Let me just check again. So unmount slash NINE, it's actually u mount again. I'm sorry, u mount 9 GB dir. Target is busy. Okay, so if I type cd 9 GB dir, if I type ls, okay, you can see, yeah, now it's unmounted. You can see that it's unmounted. You can see that now it's unmounted because you can see that whatever we had, we are not able to see. You can see if I type ls, you can see we are not able to see anything. Previously when we did okay, if I go here, you can see that previously when I did ls, you can see we were able to get things. Now we are not able to get things. Okay, you can see we are not able to get things, right? So now what we're going to do is, Now what we are going to do is we are just going to say that again I'll just go to cd dot dot, okay, cd dot dot, then I'm going to mount it again. So let's mount it again by simply typing mount command. You can see that we had the mount command above. I'm just going to type that command. Okay, we don't get it here. Okay, so I'll just have to copy from above. Yeah, you can see this command. Okay, so I'm mounting it again, my hard disk, 9 GB hard disk, again to this folder. Okay, so I'll just click on paste, and if I hit this, you can see that now it's mounted, already mounted. Okay, so if I type ls and if I type cd 9 GB dir ls lost plus found. Okay, okay, I think the files are not available here, maybe. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's create some files. So I'll just create cd touch fl1.txt. maybe the files are gone. If I type ls, you can see that we have files. So let's create another file, file2.txt. okay, and then you can see that another file is created, so ls. Okay, now if I type cd dot dot, okay, so you can see that now we are outside. You can see now we are outside. I'm just going to unmount the storage. Okay, let's unmount this. So umount. Okay, so right now you can see that target is busy. Why am I getting this again and again? I'm not sure for now. Okay, maybe there is some issue and maybe there's some permissions issue, but yeah, we have the hard disk and we mounted that storage. Okay, we mounted that storage. Now this was for this video. In the next video, what we are going to do is we are going to unmount the storage and we are going to finally delete the storage, delete the elastic volume. Okay, elastic block storage. So in this video, what we did was we learned about elastic IP addresses, and then in the next what we learned about is EBS, elastic block storage. Okay, two things we learned about. We created elastic block storage, we tried to work on it, we added some files. Now our job is to unmount it. There are some permissions which I think I need to look at, and it would be done in the next video. So in the next video we are going to know how we can unmount a storage, okay, unmount a hard disk, right? And that's it guys, that's it for today. I hope you understood the purpose of elastic IP and EBS, and this is the general usage of EBS. But yeah, if you're deep diving into EBS, then you must watch the next video on unmounting and deleting things and again mounting things. Okay, so that's it for today guys. I will see you in the next one. Till then, have a good day.